Welcome back, everybody. We're back in Dwarf Fortress. This is the Flames of Euphoria, or Kashan Ramal. Thanks for joining me for episode 2. We're going to get into some gameplay here, and some design at the very least. We have our fancy crew here. We met them last time and met the history of our lovely world, the Palace of Stabilizing, which is right up here and been ransacked by many a beast over time, and we've moved down south to the southeast to the land of Portent, and we are on this the godly, what is it called, the godly flame, something like that, our volcano anyways. And the Dented Shields, which is our group, has set up this lovely place for all the glory of dwarven kind of all sorts, because we are definitely going to be bringing in dwarves from abroad to join us. So hopefully today we can accomplish some basics, get ourselves settled in, and avoid anybody falling into that. The magma beast. We have the volcano, of course, and then if we zoom right out, we scroll up a little, we can see I've done a bit of planned carving for to carve out the front of this. So the dwarves are going to start by making their own vertical cliff on the front of what will be the fortress. This spiring mountain hill here. I like it. It's kind of pyramidal, if that's the right word for it. And we're going to come right down into the kind of this lower level at ground level here. And we're going to cut ourselves a basics and get settled in. I got an idea for some shape that I want to put to it. But we can get stuff unpaused momentarily once we set up some very basic stuff. So let's get ourselves a stockpile and toss it right in about here. It'll be accepting all there except for corpses and refuse. And I don't want corpses and refuse because some stuff might be in here a while and I don't want it to wear down and get wrecked. The animals will be fine where they are, except for I do need to pasture our big guys here. Pen pasture. There we go. Thank you for the pop-ups. I think I got the basics for now. I'm no pro at this game, so if you've got hints and tips, please do let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Comments. Help me so I don't kill them all off badly. Or when I do, I understand why I did in retrospect. Alright, so we got 4 grazers. So our larger animals, most of the larger and medium-sized animals, with the exception of like birds and dogs, cats, and pigs, but basically everything else that I can think of needs to graze. So it's going to need some sort of food source on the ground being attached to a pen and pasture. Pigs do not, because think about it, a pig at an old classic farm is going to be sitting in a little pen that definitely doesn't have enough room for it to graze. It's going to have a trough where the chefs and the brewers are going to dump all their slops. And since it's, dwarven pigs, they're definitely going to be drunk half the time. So let's start with some carving jobs. The priority will be the front gate, but I do have a few things I'd like to tidy up first, and we'll talk about it as we go. Let's check out our jobs so we can make sure everybody's doing the right thing. We have 3 people mining, Unib, Olin, and Moses. We have 2 Moseses, so Moses the expedition leader, and Moses Baker Bamark, who is a proficient miner. These 3 are very proficient at mining. They actually also have skills. We said we'd talk about our crew. So we do have 3 miners. One of them is a metal crafter. Yet another. We have a weapons smith. We're definitely going heavy metals on this build, or hopefully going to be able to focus on the economy based on production of weapons and arms for the dwarven communities. We have an adequate engraver. That's our boss man, Moses Longbeard. Moses Braided Beard. He's got quite the beard going on there. The appraiser, organizer, and record keeper. So he's the manager of the place. We'll get him set to that shortly. We get Sharvesh, who is actually a furnace operator and blacksmith. So blacksmith would do furniture and such that is made from metals, whereas the weaponsmith, any weapons or ammunition are done by the weaponsmith skill, the armor, of course, by the armorsmith, and the crafts are separated out. So there's 4 different crafting it's done on the smithy, and we've got all of them here. We also have our gem setter, Meng, who's a gem setter, not cutter, so he's going to be really slow at cutting the gems, but he'll do a decent job of, as good a job as a new guy can, at setting gems into the stone crafts and the metal crafts when we have them. And then we've got our life support, Mr. Vabok, our farmer. So he's going to do the proficient planting. When you're planting seeds, that's what determines the quality of the planter, skill of the planter rather, determines the yield of the product, not the and you can fertilize and stuff to get a boost, but not the harvester. So it doesn't matter who harvested, as long as it was planted and tended properly, it'll be fine. He's also a brewer and adequate at cooking. So that's our crew. We've got our miners set up. We hit Y, or down this fourth one here. It's also along here. These things coincide along the bottom here, align with what's up here. So our labor, we have 3 miners. We have an engraver, that's our boss, and a woodcutter, who's also our boss. And then we have the farming job here. I'm also going to put plant gatherer on him as well. And that's probably it for those tasks. I don't want anybody hunting yet. Or fishing yet, because that's just not necessary right now. So let's let them get moving a little bit, and we're going to have a few jobs, very, very few mining jobs that they've got queued up already. And I'm going to come up here and show what I've been doing here. So this symbol here is indicating that there is that they're trying to carve a ramp out of a surface. So they're going horizontally, so to speak, along the verticals. If I carve here, it will remove, this layer, and it'll remove the walls, the main section of it, plus the ceiling, producing a ramp up against a neighboring space. I'll do the same up here, except for this is actually the edge of our map. I can't go out past that, so it's going to leave. I tried to cut those, it'll leave them. We're going to also cut a little bit of this, like 5 tiles right here, with the ramps. And there's enough of a path to kind of flow in there. That's good. I want 5 wide here, so we're actually going to have to go wider one way or the other. Let's go up here and cut this out. Now, we're going to let time pass, so our miners are going to go grab their stuff. You can zoom down to see we're kind of dropping through the Z levels there, because the hill's higher. And you see the treetops here as we go down. The animals are just going to hang out, with the exception of the few that might get set to grazed. That'll be fine. Our anvil there, we got to make sure that gets in placed sooner rather than later, because we don't want to mess with that. I do want a stone shop right away. Do we have access to make a wood cutter or a stone cutters? We got logs. Good, we'll do it with that. Reason is I want to oh, hold on. What's going on with our carving jobs? Where's our miners and what are they doing? They're storing items. Okay, I'm going to tell them to not be able to do general items. When that's red, they can only do things that are to the right of it. Only jobs that are assigned here. So there's very, very few things that they will do without this green on. They will only do mining. If I wanted them to do mining and hauling, for instance, I could assign them to that as well. And then they would do both, but not. So watch when you click these, some of these will immediately switch the top command to only the person that's assigned to that. So if I wanted them to do this, but everybody else to also do it, I can leave it so it's white. Everyone does it, but these guys also do it, but they don't do the everyone does jobs, if that makes sense. I can leave them off for now. We will get to them doing that later. Lots of hauling going on, which is excellent, but looks like they've already gotten a lot of stuff moved. I'm going to actually disassemble that wagon right away, which will stop it from being a gather point. So the puppies and stuff will probably head off to do other stuff. Looks like our miners are getting to the work right away. Got to make sure we're not mining underneath. That's why I've got some of these set to blue. If you're familiar with that, when you have this little arrow here, is advanced settings. I don't know if it's advanced. To me, it's kind of the basics of running the mining. You get a few options here. We're wanting to focus on all. This is whether you draw one tile at a time or you draw in boxes. Whether you're doing mining, stairs, ramps, or channeling, or removing designations like removing ramps and other things. Okay, that was cut back up there. We'll go ahead and cut this out here. What else? I want a 3 wide, which is fine there. You can take that one down. That'll give us it won't give us a 3 wide ramp. Pardon me, if I can do this, and then what I'll do is take out this. I'll just remove that for now. And we'll move the ramp on this side. That's good. That is weird, because that is not a ramp, is it? Upward slope. What's going on there? It's just gone? Okay, that's fine. If I cut back to there... Actually, this will be the spot I have to clear back to here. So do that. Actually, I don't want to do that yet. I want to do that in blueprint mode. I was going to show that, like this. And they'll clean back that space when I release them to do so. Okay, so nothing above there being done in this valley here. We're doing some outdoor carving first. We'll get to other stuff momentarily. I can then use one of these two commands. If I shut off the blueprint mode, I can tell them to swap from regular and just paint over whatever. It won't add new designations. It will simply switch them between being blueprint and being real. Once that section's done, they can come over and do this one. Cut that top down, and then they can do this one. And just make sure that above it, we don't have anything that we want to keep. Or that we want to take down later, because they'll carve this one and see these ramps. Once they carve underneath it, it'll just drop an entire level off it. There we go. Looks like we're cutting nicely. Let's take this out. And that out. That should give us the ability to run a cart down here. Carts are 3 wide. Caravan carts are 3 wide. Then they'll be able to step over one and drop down here. And that's fine. I'm also going to take this section out with the design construction walls. Designate to be removed is the command, I guess. And now I want the bottom section here to change as well, or the next step down to change as well. So we'll go ahead here and we'll cut this back. Boop. Everything on that level can be used now. Actually, this can go away. I don't need that done because it'll disappear when the stuff underneath it goes. Good job, guys. How's the transporting of goods working? So, okay, we've taken the wagon out. Now the animals are just standing around because they have nowhere else that they've been told to go. But they're slowly, the other 3 are slowly moving things over here. We do have our workshop here done. This is the first workshop we're going to be doing. We're just going to do some basic tasks here to make some rock blocks. And I'm going to tell them to repeat that job. And the person doing that's probably going to be Sarvesh. We'll get Sarvesh on that. Yeah, that's fine. Because I want the others doing other stuff. Don't want one of my miners assigned to it. So if that was too quick, what I'm doing here is I'm choosing the workers. You can select who is allowed to do this, and only one person can be assigned to a workshop. But that, if we go to the Labors tab on Y, oops, no, Google, I do not want to open a new Google page. This records weird. It won't actually capture in the game mode, so I have to capture it a little different. Hopefully it all lays out properly on the screen for everybody. But in the labors mode, you notice how we had the miners here. Now we also have a workshop assigned to this guy. So this guy will do, if I told him to do nothing else, he would still do jobs on that workshop. And nobody else, even if they're assigned to do workshop or work details that allow them to use workshops, nobody will be allowed to use that workshop except for him. All right, that's nice. We got some cinnabar here. It's a bright red rock. We got a bunch of embedded gems in that wall as well. We're going to go ahead and take that down there. And I think we'll leave the ramps on the other side. We'll just take the ramps that are on the side that is the fortress. Okay, then that drops there. And we can take this set of ramps out here. Oh, not that far. Because we're going to take stuff underneath it out. Okay, and to the mining designation, allow them to start that. Good. So now we have, again, a ramp down and a ramp step down and a step down. So we'll be able to have path in here. We are building not a faction, or not a, just a fort for the few dwarves that end up here. We're building, and it will be a few, unfortunately. We're building a faction fortress here. We're intending to revitalize our faction with as legitimate a method as I can think of. You can also do, I saw a great bit of content by Blind IRL. He did a stream that he put the VOD up on YouTube. And it was fun because he had a world generated that he wanted to use to build a fortress. And he had an idea of where to build, but the only faction left in the entire world, because he was doing like a small world, the only faction at the end of the 100 years was one dwarven faction with like 15 people on it. So he like made a bunch of small little embarks and just let them run automatically. Instantly made them, instantly abandoned them. It was an interesting technique. So it added a bunch of population to his world, which I thought was a creative way to do that. I do not want to do what I just did there. That would be disastrous. This section I want to go back up to the top. And we start from the top down. We're going to cut this stuff out. Get the miners going on that. We got stone being made into blocks here, which is great because that's what we'll use for building when we need to. I'm also going to go ahead and build you know what? Let's build a mechanics workshop as well here for now. We got a few things we need to build there. I don't care what you make it out of, guys, really. It's just going to go away right away anyways. That one's done. We'll take out... Oh, there's these little nubs here. That'll just disappear as long as you cut the stuff underneath it properly. Or you can remove it with the same thing that you remove ramp designations with. I'm going to scroll out just a bit for this section so I can see it all at once. Looks like things are still piled up there, but we're starting to fill this stockpile. I just wanted the guys doing something useful moving things over because that'll get them kind of halfway. If they run back and forth between here, at least they finish part of the trip until we go inside. And that's fine. Miners are starting to cut through this real quick because this is actually loamy sand walls. So this is like not a solid rock strata under here. Real good. Another half dozen or so. And then they'll be able to clean this up. Come on, boys. There we go. Go back down one layer and we can designate all that to happen now. Okay. We got a lot of trees. Very, very heavily treed down here. It's way thicker vegetation and tons of fruit trees that I did not expect. Clearly, we're getting some nice fertility from in this land because look up here how thick these trees are. And there's just fruit everywhere. Like there's vegetables, soybeans, potatoes, carrots, cabbages, peas. There's not carrots, cabbages. Watercress. Already more trees growing. Like it's quite the place. There you go. 2 more layers left. 1 more layer left after this one. Excellent. Not as big as the last dig project that I planned. Well, that's interesting. Got this little natural drop point right here. Look at that. Chomp, chomp. All right. Good. We're done. Excellent. Last layer. And then we can get on with the fun stuff, which is going to be a lot of designating and planning. So while they're doing that, let's start. We've got the volcano here. If we go down till we show the numbers, that can be done by over here, top right by the minimap. There's a display water and lava levels with the number. 7 is full, 1 is ankle deep. I think at 4 they have to start swimming. At 7, if they're in that square, they're not breathing because they're fully encased. It's like think of a glass cube that's full, 7 of 7 water. They can't get their heads above it. So they have to be above that level if they want to breathe. So very quickly, I mean, they're not going to breathe in lava, but in water, they would very quickly disappear in bad ways. So this is the lava level. It's at 45. And let's scroll up a bit to the hillside here. I want to see where our center is going to be. So if that is the highest point right here, I think we have to go kind of like 1 or 2 tiles. 1 tile off gets us to the middle. Yeah, so I'm looking at coming in at the midpoint here. Why is that not designating? Oh, because I've got the wrong setting going. Darn it. Yeah, when this is set here, it really throws it off. Okay, in here, I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to start designating some stuff. What we're going to do is come in at the middle point here of this, where this lava is. We're going to come in some number of tiles, and we're going to make a little space in here, put a little gate in there, and then in here, right in about here, I want my trading post. And I think if I did that, and there's a gate here, we just have to have enough space for them to get past. So this is the gate of a 3x3. Let's say we go this far, and we have a pathway here for them to get into their trading post. Actually, we could probably go like diagonally, I think. Maybe not. They have to have an actual 3x3, not just 3 wide opening. So the caravan, think of it as a 3x3 block, has to go like this, and then up, and then over, then up, and then over, sort of thing. So I think that will let them access it. And then we're gonna have a single tile that has nothing in the middle and is cut through there. And we're going to open back up to an entryway. And then somewhere in the middle here will be a stairwell. I know we have to go off one. So let's say about level like 65 at the top side of things. We're going to have this. A stairwell starting... I mean, maybe 65, but let's do that. So we start a stairwell. Stairwell has to cross, it says in the top left, must span multiple levels. So as I scroll mouse down, we can go down to like 55. If I hold shift, I can go down by 10s. That puts us down to 45, which is actually the level of the lava. So Z level 45 gets us a center tile there. Actually, let's make that priority 7. Like that. Okay. And then down at, ground level, I want to make a cross system. And it's going to get a little funky. So let's see. Let's go up about that far. And that's actually, hold on. Let's go here. We'll start there and we'll go down by 10. No. Hold on. Go down by 9 there. So let's go here. Stairs. Start at the bottom here and go up 10. Or up, actually, I think that's 11. So just to make it easy to cut. I'm just using shift to jump up and down. So now we've made 11 basically levels or 10 levels of stairs with a single one in the middle. And it's all in blue, so it's planned, not completed. And then when I have these door spaces, I'm going to have a 2 wide like that. And then it'll bottleneck again. So that probably is a decent entryway there. Like this. That'll work there. Okay. Pardon me. Yeah, and then so this would be the doorway entering, accessing a separate section of space, something like that. Because I got a funky old plan we're gonna do here. Very funky plan. So let's say we drop 1 level. I need to have a similar thing. I'm gonna have a similar thing over here for a very unique, a very oddball symmetry. By unique, I don't mean this is a great unique way you should do it. I mean this is gonna probably look dumb and weird people out, but it's not really that surprising, is it? Pardon me. On this side, it'll be similar, but yet a little different. Pardon me. No, I do not want that to enter there, actually. I specifically do not want that to match, because it has to come to here. Right? We have to have this space come out here, and I don't know that it's going to work quite that way. That might give it what I need. Or that might, no, that won't. That'll be cutting into things it's not supposed to. How about that? There. And there. I know. How about there? Lovely. Sort of lovely. Sort of weird. We can take those out. I'm not sure. That might work. Strange. I'm not sure about that shape, but something like that. So we're gonna have this sort of a space along here. Sure. I'll think about it. It's still blueprint. And then what's gonna be really bizarre is I'm gonna start doing this. I'll do it at priority 5 for the pathways. So every one of these. Oh, not in that mode. I want it to be this painter mode. Every one of these stairwells is, instead of going off in squares, we're going to try to make it look a little weird, just for insanity's sake. And if you can see what I'm going to do here, I'm kind of making an X shape. Now this will take some possibly some off-screen. Oh, that's not the way I want to do that. That's shifting way too far. Why is that shifting so far? There we go. That's what I need to do. Ah, yes. So I did a little too far. So this right here, if I go in, hit escape, and I go into settings, we have a game setting and enable keyboard cursor. There we go. Once that's enabled, and I click on the mining thing, you see this yellow cursor? The arrow keys, not WASD, will manage this. So what I'm going to do here is I want to create a macro that's going to print these out for me. This is in the wrong place. I'm going to come back to this. I'm gonna eliminate this for the now, but the idea is there. I'll think about how it's gonna implement in a bit. What we're gonna do, and this whole section right here has got to disappear as well, just for now. What I want to do, this might need to go in further, actually, because if I'm here and designate, and I go here and hold shift, and I shift right and shift up, we go all the way to here. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work, because that'll bring us up to the right spot. Okay, good. So what I want to do is I want to make a macro. In the starting with the macro, once you've got the cursor on, you hit Control R, right? And it's now going to record every movement I do. Well, I don't want it to record me going up and down, so let's hit Control R again. Control R to start the macro. I'm going to hit, make sure I'm on mining. Oh, that's, blueprinting it. Okay. Mining all in box form. I'm going to hit Enter. I'm going to go up and over. Enter again, up and over. I'm going to do that right until we get where I want to. Okay, and then I'm going to come back down to here, and I'm going to go down one level from 49 to 48. Then I'm going to hit Control R again, and now the macro and the recording button in the top left has disappeared. If I hit Control P, or sorry, Shift P, no, Control P, it will print that macro. Drop me down a level and go again. Down to 46, and down to 45. We're now at the flame level. Awesome. Since it's set on the grid of 11, which is the default shift move, I can go back there, and I can scroll back up. There's our entry. Let's hit Control P again, and we'll print the macros. There we go. Nice and fast. Now, it takes a bit to set them up, but whatever, right? Scroll up. Oh no, up there. Control P, one more. There we go. So this is now down to 44. Okay, let's go back up. I will go a bit above. Let's see, that's the doorway. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go up to 4. Print that out a few times so we get back down to the main level. There and there. Good. And then I need to get back up to the top. Now, remember, your controls change slightly when you're in this mode, so be warned. It's a little finicky getting used to, but it's a heck of a lot faster than for especially a weird oddball job like this than to paint all those individually. All right, then I need to go for another macro here, and I'm going to go Control R. We're going to do the same thing. Only recording my keystrokes, so mouse scrolls do not work. The only thing, oddly enough, it does record is the elevation you're on. So it'll move to the elevation that you want to if you use the scroll mouse. Okay, that. And then I want to go back to here, and I want to go down a level to 48, end the recording, and print it. There we go. I could have skipped the step of putting in the stairs at the beginning, right? Let's go up here to this one. Print these out. There we go. Now this is going to leave for a very funky shape that's going to demand me to actually, somewhat think when I'm designing things. Start by designing poorly. That way you have to design poorly the rest of the way. Maybe that's not well thought through. Let's print the rest of these down, and then we'll go all the way down to the layer the other one's on. I could always remake these macros if I need to later, or I could hit save when I'm doing a macro. I think Control S to save the macro when you've recorded one. It will be good for now, though. That's plenty of space for now. I think after that we'll probably do different things. So, all right, next thing I want to do is hit escape, go back to those settings, and get rid of that game cursor, because it totally alters some stuff when you have that on. All right, down we go. This is the main entryway. All right, a bit of groundskeeping outside looks like we're needed. I didn't notice that, but see these little nubs here? I'm gonna get rid of them. Thanks guys. If there's any on the paths there. Looks like the answer is no. They did a much cleaner job out there. Good. All right. So our entryway is going to come in here. We're going to go to the stairwell. And again, that's going to be the priority 2 stuff to get us right into there. And there. Now I want to go back up to the top where the stairs were and make these stairs again. Let's go 7. Actually, 4 is fine for the stairs here. So go here. We'll start at that stairwell and go right down to the bottom. Where'd it go? Right there? Good. And here, up to here, here, down to there, there, up to there, and there, down to there. Good. Stairwells are in. All right, so we're going to carve this first section today, and we'll get the. I did a 5. I did that in a 5. That's awkward and confusing. And then I want to go down 1 step here, and we're going to make a general stockpile for the beginning. That's going to go underneath here. So to do that, I'll roll down 1 from 49 down to 48. We'll have this stairwell come in, do the same thing. We'll connect there. And there, and that's our entryway. And then we're going to make a stairs. Now I can use that version, or I can use this paint version and do something like this. And I think we'll go to about there and over. And then this side will do the same thing. Now I don't want any of these pieces like that I just bumped connecting to the edge for now. And then we don't want to paint, we don't want to cut this out because that is over top the lava. Now that would not cause us to fill with lava, but I want all the layers to be the same in these sections. I think they'll look funky. All right, and let's fill that in. I mean, you could have done this probably more efficiently elsewhere, but other ways, but that's fine. You get the idea of what I'm aiming for anyways. All right, now that's in. Now, before I do any more designing, we're gonna dig this out and we're gonna tell them that the next episode, what you need to do is start by next episode. I want them hauling a bunch of stuff in. Now, if anything interesting happens, I'll let you know. I'm not gonna design a bunch of stuff off camera. You're going to be stuck with me for the whole bloody journey, all right? So buckle up. We're going to be here for quite a while. That's the plan. This one is going to be a long-term series. So if you do enjoy it, please do hit the like button on this one. I'm going to switch these to turn these right in the middle on. Nothing up here. We're going to let them go right to here. I'll turn the first 3 staircases and that widen there. And we're going to go down 1, and we're going to accept all of that. And part of this, get it digging. There we go. Like that. And that. And all that. Good. Now we'll make this giant space in here. Now, there is something actually I want to do here. I want to... yeah, I want to put in a stairwell here. So not there. Not there. I'll figure out where the stairwell goes. What I'm going to do instead, I'm going to... Not this level won't have a stairwell. I'm going to go through here and I'm just going to cut this out and say, do not mind that piece. Because I got to figure out where there's going to be some vertical stair shafts going in between our storages and other things. So I'll leave that empty space in the middle. It'll confuse the crap out of them for now, but that's fine. All right, that's it for today. We're going to leave it there and we're going to come back with our friends at the Flames of Euphoria and see if they can have a good time. I mean, it's in the name, right? They should be. I hope you do too. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit the like button if you don't mind before you head out. And if you're interested in this kind of content, I have a bunch of other stuff on the channel. Many, many thousands of videos. And would love to have you join the clan. Just subscribe and come along for the ride. Thanks, everybody. Have yourselves a great day. And a happy 2023 to you all. See you in game.